Welcome everyone to this video. I hope you all are doing good today. As you guys may know, I'm not used to make voiceover videos like that, as usually I don't get the time to and don't really know what to talk about anyways. However, with Lugia making a return to the game, I figured out it would be a great opportunity to talk about mixed movesets, with I being one of the Pokemon's concerned. As a first look, what is a mixed moveset? It is simply a moveset that mixes a fast move and a charge move on the same Pokémon that aren't of the same type. In PvP this happens quite a lot, because you need to extend your coverage. But in raids, how could this come in handy? Well, the thing is, there can be scenarios when a Pokémon's most optimal moveset appears to be a type mixed one, and in some cases, the two moves in question will be effective against the same raid boss, just because its two types match with the two moves. Pokémon that work this way can sometimes see themselves refrained from putting in a really good performance simply because we aren't used to use them that way. Obviously weather and mega boost will be getting in the way, and in this case it's most likely that this rule will break, since both times when we save the same multipliers. This video is more rotated about no boost scenarios with rating power, and in most cases they will be used in red challenge and stuff, hence I won't be including megas here. So the first Pokémon is going to be Weavile, which especially as a shadow is said to be an extremely good dark type attacker and a fairly solid ice type as well. So where does this get? As many Shortman readers know, Avalanche is an extremely good charge move and indeed probably one of the only good ice moves in the game, and Snarl has been buffed quite a long ago at the beginning of PvP area. And as you have already guessed, the combination of these two will be a really hard-hitting weapon beyond double dark and double ice movesets. And the best part is Weavile gets to use them against very well-known bosses in the game. Lugia, since its flying type is weak to ice and its psychic type is weak to dark, and also Giratina, both form, being a ghost and a dragon type. As you can see, Snarl Avalanche Shadow Weavile will be hitting at 44.5 DPS at level 40 on Calci IV's scale. For a comparison, Shadow Mamoswine hits at 43 DPS with double ice moveset, Darkrai only reaches about 38.6 DPS, Rayquaza sits on 41.7, and Shadow Electivire is right at 44.4. Shadow Dragon Knight with 46.5 and Shadow Salamence with 49.4, we have a upper hand on Shadow Weavile at the sake of a very low bulk and lack of type advantage against Giratina. Obvious problem is that Weavile is glassy, especially with the Shadow version being necessary for Weavile to really make it to the top counters. However, it does get the type advantage thanks to its dark type, double resisting Psychic and single resisting Ghost. This, cumulated to the fact Altered Giratina and Lugia have a very low attack. For Lugia's situation, extrasensory or Future Sight will only do 39.1% of damage to Weavile, and for Alternate Giratina, Ghost will be doing 62.5%, with Shadow Snake being a pretty bad move and Shadow Claw not having a scary amount of damage per hit either. For Ringing Giratina, Weavile could perform pretty well against Ominous Wind and most definitely tank one Shadow Ball and one Dragon Pulse. Although it's unlikely it will tank two of them, the dodge damage will be pretty interesting, as it is neutral to Dragon and resists Ghost, whereas on the other hand, Shadow Dragons will be weak to Dragon and neutral to Ghost. The second Pokémon is again an Ice type which has its equivalent as a Shadow attacker, the only Pokémon to solo Rayquaza and Undoros. Mamoswine does learn Avalanche too, which obviously will be its first move, but isn't Poros now the best fast move to pair it with? Well, no. Keep in mind that Earthquake and Mudslap got both buffed at a time that I, to be honest, don't really remember. But for sure the Sunny boosted Daiga duos were much easier after that. In the case of Mamoswine, yes, the best moveset will be Mudslap and Avalanche. Mudslap having gained a really huge raw power. The DPS are again going through the roof, with 2.6 more DPS for Mudslap than with Powder Snow, and even a 7.7 DPS difference with Double Ground moveset, Bulldoze being an absolutely terrible move, for a total amount of DPS of 45.6. May I point out that Shadow Mamo is already the first ground DPS with Mudslap and Bulldoze. This gives a fair idea of what performance to expect from it. For my comparison, once again, Double Dragon Garchomp will have a 38.5, same as regular Dragonite, with Shadow Dragons remaining the same, and there is obviously no Run type or no Ice type to compete with a Pokémon that already was first in both of these. The use of a Ground Ice type moveset seems like it was made with purpose, Zekrom and Mega Ampharos. As it happens, me and Megashow did use Mudslap Avalanche Shadow Mamo in the Nova Robust Mega Ampharos duo, which had the advantage to pull off an outstanding DPS performance, as well as taking advantage of double resistance to electric. Hence the reason why I made the comparison with dragons. It might won't overperform Shadow Dragonite and Shadow Salamence, but for a more than decent DPS it pulls off, the triple resistance to electric is an advantage that shouldn't be underestimated at all. At the time I am recording this, no community day for Litwick has been announced, so the rule should still be working for Chandelure. It's a solid fire attacker and a really good ghost, but its true potential more showed up back when Bronzong was here as a tier 4 red boss, which already makes it a long time ago. This was an extremely hard duo because of the lack of megas, and also because Reshiram got released at this point in time, which made it hard to have them ready in time, especially with pandemic going on. However, keep in mind that Bronzong is a still psychic type, therefore it will be weak to both ghost and fire type. And as surprising as it seems to be, Chandelure with its 40.9 DPS was actually the best counter among all of them, in front of Reshiram with 40.1 DPS, Gengar with 39.8 DPS, Darkrai with 38.6 DPS, and Moltres with 35.9. Today Shadow Moltres will dominate the counter list with 42.8 DPS, as well as double Dark Shadow Weavile and Shadow NT, which their DPS will show up on the screen. Either way, this glassy game changer was all two players needed to draw Bronzong without further boosts, which I will link in the description, and nowadays Chandelure could still be a funny pick for Metang and Metagross, which we have seen in T3 fairly recently, if not right at the moment, as well as whenever Bronzong comes back as a tier 3 red boss. A helpful hand for potential unboosted unique challenges, as Metagross and Bronzong are pretty tanky Pokémons. Next one to come has never really had any play against red bosses. I just figured out it would leave a solid impression about mixed movesets to have it last as an indicator. It is Shadow Honchkrow, a Pokémon known to have an amazing DPS both dark and flying type wise. It does get Snarl and Sky Attack, Snarl having proved its performance with Weavile, and Sky Attack being itself the best flying type charge move, obviously tied with Fly, which has been made a clone of it, also in front of recently buffed Brave Bird. Unfortunately, flying and dark types do not really share any common Pokémon to be super effective against. Any grass and psychic Pokémon will be better countered by bug types because of the double weakness. Grass and ghost type aren't in the game yet, and I imagine there wouldn't really be any important red buff with matching that typing. Fighting is weak to flying, but Rust is dark, so Snarl will not work here, and I don't see any bug type to match that either. For this reason, it seems more reasonable for me to compare it with top tier DPS instead. Shadow Honchkrow with this moveset hits 49.1 DPS. Shadow Mewtwo hits 57.2. Shadow Salamence with Outrage will hit 49.4. Shadow Metagross hits 48.4. Attack Deoxys hits 48. And regular Mewtwo stands at 47.2. So despite lacking super effectiveness, it should be having its own amount of plays in neutral damage scenarios which started gaining popularity with Psychic Mewtwo's power.